Hello there, everyone. I decided to do a video outside today. Nice little change of pace, little scenery difference. So, as many of you know, there's quite the border crisis going on down south right now. And I want to take a moment and talk about from the migrant or the refugee perspective. Now, I will make 100%, clear. One, I sure as hell don't approve of what's going on down there. I mean, I don't think we should just open the borders and let everyone and anyone in without proper, procedures. And two, I sure as hell don't approve of what these Democrat candidates are talking about. We're just giving them free health care, free, housing, job assistance, education. I mean, who's going to pay for it all? The taxpayer, the average citizen, such as myself and such as you. I mean, we have this looming debt over our nation, and eventually it's going to pop, and when it does, it's going to rock the very foundations of the nation. And honestly, it's almost hypothetical and only theorized about what was going to happen exactly and who is going to survive it. But the reality is, we just don't know. And whether or not America can emerge from the ashes of the debt crisis, that's a question for debate. But those are a video for another time. Today, I want y'all to take a step back for a second. So, as I said, I really don't approve what's going on at the border. I mean, as I said, we can't just let them in. We can't just flush them in and open the borders because that's going to create much more chaos than we already have. But look from the immigrant's perspective. So, a lot of these people are economic migrants. They're coming here to seek work, to seek jobs. That is the reality. A lot of them won't hire paying jobs, and in their own home countries across Central America, jobs are becoming very, very limitless because the governments have essentially taken control. And then you have these other nations which have just become absolutely terrible, just, real health hazards to their citizens. And they look at America and, they're being told that all they have to do is risk a very long journey. And if they make it to the border, they get free housing, free education, free health care, free jobs, free food assistance, free welfare. I mean, from their perspective, and from the perspective of the economic migrants, they are essentially being told that all they have to do is come to America, and not only will they get higher paying jobs than what they've had at their own home country, that they'll get all these benefits for free. And it's going to be the taxpayer who's going to fund it. And if you remember back to the Democratic debates that happened, pretty much all of them said yes to, pay for all this. We're going to have to increase the taxes, not just on the rich. No, it's going to be every American citizen. But you can watch my other video to kind of pick up on why I think that and why I know that. So for the migrants, it sounds like an excellent and beautiful life for them to get to America. But the reality is, America, we just can't take them all. We just can't handle it. You have to look at Europe, for example. Europe opened their borders, and it was like a mad dash all across the Middle East, parts of Africa and Asia, and it was just all of them went rushing to Europe, and now Europe is having troubles with their healthcare system. They're getting overcrowded in their school and their education system, and, they're going bankrupt. In fact, I don't know any European nation right now that really isn't in the green when it comes to money. So, America's already in the red, and if we just bring in more people from everywhere, it's going to make us even further in the red. And we cannot survive like this. We can't operate like this. And look, everyone has a right to a better life. But what's kind of funny, and this is what's interesting, is a lot of these people escaping these countries that they're fleeing from, what the government, the Democrats, are promising these migrants is the exact same thing that their own home governments promised them if they voted for them in power. And I fail to realize or to see that these people lived through this already. Now, place like Guatemala is like this big, while America, is like this big, but at the same time, the same principle is going to happen, even if it just takes longer. Maybe these migrants just plan to come in, get what they can, and then get out before it collapses. Or maybe people are just that stupid. I don't know. But for the Democrats, them promising all this stuff, for them, that's just a future voting population, because the Democrats eventually want to get them way to citizenship. But to the migrants, why vote for the same stuff that you've already been promised, and it failed, and it destroyed your nation? It's insane, folks. It's insane. And to make matters even better, we now have, countries like, states and counties like Dallas saying that they're going to pay for legal fees so that these migrants can get a fair day in court because they're not getting their Sixth Amendment right. Well, here's the thing. They don't have the constitutional rights. They're not citizens of the United States. You see, our Constitution and our laws affect our nation as well as our citizens. Our citizens of the United States are given the rights through the Constitution. But the thing is, our Constitution is not recognized in Europe or Australia, Russia, China, the Middle East, parts of Africa. It's not recognized. Our laws are not recognized by other nations. So, here in America, we have the Second Amendment, right to bear arms, but if we go to Britain and start, we're carrying a pistol around, they're going to arrest us. And we can't do the argument, well, I'm an American citizen and my right says that I have the right to bear arms. They'll just look at you and go, well, this isn't America, this is Britain. And, you're going to go through their processing system, but the thing is, Britain's laws also, or Constitution doesn't also apply to you because you're not a citizen of Britain. They don't care. You're a non-citizen. They don't have to do nothing except arrest you. And that's the reality of it. So when you see these politicians in counties come out saying, yes, we're going to pay for them, make sure they get their fair day in court because, the government's being racist or whatever, it's not the government's being racist. It's just they're different citizens, and our citizens' rights don't apply to non-citizens, and that's just the reality. And it's not racist. It's not bigoted. It's not white supremacist Nazi here and there because of that. No. What creates a nation? A nation's citizens, their laws, and their borders, their boundaries. And for some reason, the Democrats want to crush that boundary completely. So, I apologize about the rambling, but it's just I had to get most of it out. But from the migrants, they just hear all they have to do is make it to America and they're going to be set for life. What about the citizens? What about us? Why should we have to pay for our own health care and then another family's health care and another family's health care? People do the argument, well, it's the right and moral thing to do, but at the same time, why are you, why are you forcing someone to give away their money? Why are you forcing them to take away their rights and their earnings for their family? Folks, we live in truly a clown world. That's becoming a bizarro world. The reality is, for the nation to survive and take care of itself, we just can't take in everyone and anyone. In fact, even African migrants are starting to come to America because they feel that Europe can't provide for them anymore. And that's the key word I want y'all to remember. Provide. Why should Europe or America have to provide for other citizens of other nations? Especially when we have our own problems and our own debt crisis to deal with. Folks, I'm telling y'all, I don't care what your political views are, I don't care if you're left or right, but you have to recognize that, yes, from the migrants' perspective, this is like truly a sanctuary for them. They're going to get everything that they've been denied in their home country. And you can sit there and say that's their basic human right, but at the same time, you have to recognize that if we do this, if we go down this path and we just let everyone in, it's going to hurt the citizens more than anything, because it's going to be the citizens that are going to be footing the bill for everything. It's going to be the citizens that are now just, they're going to have to start competing for jobs with this increase in population of migrants. They're going to have to be, as I said in my Democratic debate video, the Democrats have become, they have vowed to serve other nations than our own. That entire speech was for the migrants, and from the migrants, it was almost like a song of joy being praised to them. The migrants are not at fault. They truly are just trying to seek a better life for themselves and for their family, and for many of them, they're economic migrants. They're trying to seek more money so they can provide better for their family. But I say, I'm sorry. We have to provide for ourselves first. We have no obligation to any of these people. If they want to come to America, they do it the right and legal way, by becoming citizens and going through the system, not coming in through these shortcuts with asylum seeking and then just straight illegally crossing the border. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, this whole argument that refugee status can be gained through economics now is bullshit. It's bullshit. Because, when America was having that recession and the unemployment rate was going up, I highly doubt anyone would let Americans migrate to other nations for jobs under refugee status. I'm right. Folks, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Y'all have a beautiful morning.